On the 5 spot now, the SEPTA strike is just more than 12 hours old, but it's already causing widespread problems across Philadelphia.
The strike impacts a lot more than the hundreds of thousands of people who use SEPTA every day. Mayor Michael Nutter joins us now live outside City Hall. It's good to see you, Mayor.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
Well, you know, Mayor Nutter, I guess it really doesn't matter where a person stands on this issue, but the hard-working people certainly didn't deserve to wake up this morning to find there was a strike and have to scramble for transportation.
Now, it was quite a despicable act, quite frankly. This was an ambush on the citizens of this city and the riding public to call a strike at 3 o'clock in the morning. Many Philadelphians, of course, whether they watched the great Phillies win or not, went to bed last night anticipating that they'd wake up and be able to use mass transit. Others went to work on the late shift using SEPTA and literally were stranded later on during the course of their work night. And so it's been disruptive. It is inappropriate. There was a fair, good, reasonable offer on the table last night as Governor Rendell and I were negotiating between the parties, SEPTA management and the TWU leadership. Congressman Brady was in touch. State Rep Dwight Evans was in touch. All of us working toward one goal, which was to try to reach a fair, reasonable contract. That offer was rejected. None of us, quite frankly, can figure out why. But we now see the end result, which is disruption to the election today, to the working public, to people trying to get to hospitals or go shopping tomorrow. School children are back in public school. Parochial schools and independent schools were in session today. They were affected by this. This is a big loser all the way around for the citizens and the riding public.
You know, speaking of the riding public, I think a lot of folks are walking around town today furious. They've been inconvenienced, Mayor, as you said, but they're also saying, you know, they're lucky to have a job, and they just really felt like if there was something that they could move forward with that did have an increase, because what I'm hearing from you, it sounded like there was a bit of an increase in the offer that was on the table. They just don't really understand how this possibly could have been turned down. Where exactly did the talks break down?
It's more than a bit of an increase. Here's the proposal. 5 years, a $1,250 cash bonus upon signing the contract right now, $1,250 in cash. In the second year, a 2.5% increase, and for the next 3 years, a guaranteed 3% increase in wages. There is no offer like that anywhere around. A proposed increase in the pension, holding the line for the workers in terms of their contribution to their health care costs at 1% of their salary. There is no offer like that anywhere around, certainly not in the city or for state workers. Those of us in the city, I cut my pay, and the top members of the government took pay cuts, furloughs. We stopped our step and longevity pay increases for our own workforce, and so this was a good deal. And the governor laid that out, Congressman Brady laid that out, Representative Evans laid that out, and none of us can understand why this offer was rejected. And you're absolutely right, Carrie Lee. People have lost their jobs, they've lost their pensions, they've lost their health care, and most are just happy to have a job, and no one is really thinking about trying to get an increase in salary at a time when Philadelphia's unemployment rate has now topped 11% unemployment. And so this is totally unreasonable. The TWU workers, I'm encouraging the leaders, get back to the negotiating table, get this done. The critical decision here that the TWU has to make is you're either going to continue to inconvenience the riding public, or you're going to go back to negotiations and get a contract. And I'm strongly encouraging, get back to the negotiating table and get this wrapped up.
And Mayor Nutter, real quick here, a yes or no. Earlier this week, Governor Rendell said there would be major consequences if the talks broke down and they went on strike. He had encouraged both sides to continue talks. Obviously, that didn't happen. Will there be consequences for SEPTA?
Oh, I would fully expect that the governor is going to follow up on what he said. It was not a threat. It was a promise. And all of us are exploring our options in this particular matter. There's never been a governor who's been more supportive of mass transit than Governor Rendell, and he spent a lot of time from late Friday, early Saturday morning through last night, both of us together at midnight last night. And for this to be the outcome is disrespectful to the governor, and I know he's not happy about it.
Mayor Michael Nutter, always good to see you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you both.
And don't forget, you can stay on top of the latest developments in this story on myfoxphilly.com. There you can check out the Philadelphia School District's plan to deal with the strike. Plus, find out which services are still available. Just click on the SEPTA tab.